My marriage was the biggest, most painful mistake in my life, and it helped me become the man I've always wanted to be. Stick around and listen in on the story of my transformation from a boy to a man. Hello beautiful people, my name is Teevee as in television. Welcome to my channel where we talk about the intersection between personal development, leadership, and parenting. Because I believe if you become a better human being, you automatically become a better partner and a better parent. I always wanted to be married. It's heavily embedded in my culture and it's something that I had been looking forward to my entire life, or my adult life. But I was getting old. I was already 25 and I still didn't even have a girlfriend, and my mom was putting all this pressure on me to get married, to have a child so she can have a grandchild. So I married one of the first women that showed any interest in me, that showed me some love. Looking back now, as a 45-year-old man, I realized that I was just a little boy in a hurry to have a family. The marriage lasted 5 years and I became the father of two beautiful little girls and fell in love with another little girl and little boy at the same time. I went from having 0 to 4 children in the span of 3 years. It was a little crazy. But things got tougher and tougher as the years progressed. I was just becoming more and more miserable. Like everyone else, I just wanted to be happy. It's not the type of environment that I wanted to raise my children. I wanted to do better and not raise them in the same type of culture and energy that I was raised in. The marriage simply wasn't working and we had to move on. But I couldn't get divorced. Who would be interested in me? I saw myself as a very ugly human being, a very ugly man that nobody would be attracted to. So there's that. I saw myself as a failure. After committing to being with this woman for the rest of my life, 5 years in, I'm already divorcing. What kind of crap is that? I was feeling like a loser and ashamed that I just couldn't follow through with my commitment to her and to the family. I wanted to stay for the children, for my girls and for the older two. Early on, I actually thought about sticking around. I figured I'd stay married, suck it up for the children until they graduated, and then I would move on. Then something crazy happened. My car actually broke down around that time, and I was working pretty far from home and I needed a ride. A female friend of mine who lived nearby and also worked at the same place offered to give me a ride. So I took her up on it. It was just, we were struggling and I didn't have the money to get a new car. One day, her husband took both of us to work, dropped us off, and then picked us up afterwards. I was in the back seat, minding my own business, when all of a sudden they start arguing.
It was ugly.
It was one of the worst things ever. I had never seen anybody argue the way they were arguing in front of me since my parents. And it's something that made me really uncomfortable, but definitely positively impacted me, because in that moment, I knew I didn't want to become them. I didn't want to become them. I didn't want to become my parents, because I grew up in that kind of environment with my parents arguing all the time. So the idea of sticking around until my girls grew up and graduated went out the window. That was not going to be me. I had to make a change. My girls deserved better than that. They needed to see a father that was happy and doing good for himself. I wanted to be able to look in the mirror and be proud of the person that I was seeing, and more importantly, I wanted them to look at me and be proud of the man that I was. Around that same time, I discovered the book called The Game, written by Neil Strauss. Penetrated the secret PUA, pickup artist community, and took himself from being a dweeb dork to being a ladies' man. That lifestyle was not something that interested me, but what I got out of the book and continues to be something that I think about often is the idea that I can improve myself. You are not stuck as this human being, as this version of yourself, no matter what. You can choose to become a better person and then take steps towards that. It gave me hope. I just had to take ownership of this situation moving forward. So I made a list of all the things that I didn't like about myself, that I wanted to improve about myself. Teeth, hair, facial hair, style, communication, energy, glasses. I just wanted to improve myself from the top down, outside and inside. This is still the way I approach life and everything that happens. I choose to take ownership, and this is what I taught my daughters. I actually recorded a video speaking about that. You can click on the link up here and it'll be in the description. My marriage and ultimately my divorce helped me become the man I wanted to be. It taught me things that I don't think I would have ever learned in school or in college. I became a better man. My marriage was the best thing that could have happened, but it made me painfully aware of all my shortcomings. Make no mistake about it, it hurt. It hurt bad. It took a lot of time to recover, therapy, a lot of sessions, a lot of personal introspection, but it's an experience that I'm incredibly grateful for. This entire video is not an indictment on my ex-wife. It's not about that. It's ultimately, I just grew in a different direction than she did, and it was obvious that we needed to move on. She made me a father and gave birth to two amazing little girls that I love dearly. And despite our differences in our tension, she did allow me to parent and father my children, my daughters, in the best way that I saw fit. She's always given me the flexibility without all the drama to be able to be present in their life in the best way possible. Almost all the mistakes that we make can be the best teaching tools if we just change our perspective on the situations. Because let's be honest, sometimes the only way to learn is to touch the hot stove, even after our parents and told us not to touch the hot stove. My divorce taught me that in some of those hot stove moments, you can actually have the greatest amount of growth and prosperity. You can grow and become a much better version of yourself. So I'm curious, what mistakes have you made that help you become a better version of you? Also, make sure to subscribe so you can be notified whenever I post a new video. If you enjoyed this video, then you definitely will enjoy the video I mentioned earlier where I teach my daughters about ultimate accountability and owning everything that happens in their life. Feel free to drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. What have you experienced and grown from? Thank you for watching this video. It means a lot to me. Until then, keep learning, living, and improving. Ta-ta.